Bogle. I'm a registered nurse. I have 31 years of experience as a nurse, 26 of that in emergency medicine, and the last 5 studying psychedelic medicine. So I am officially a psychedelic nurse. Tonight, I wanted to talk about integration and the importance of integration with psychedelic therapy. I, in my own healing journey, have been to a lot of different retreats and different healing centers to try to release trauma that I have held in my body. The one thing that stands out to me is the lack of integration. And I want to talk about that just a little bit. I created Om Academy of Healing this year, and through that have developed what I believe are the most influential medicine retreats that are packed in with all of the things that I have learned throughout my 5-year journey, to include the things that I feel were lacking. One of those things being psychedelic integration. So what is the importance of psychedelic integration, and when do you think that integration should begin? And through my research and studying, using myself as the lab rat, integration should begin prior to any psychedelic experience. If someone is thinking of having a psychedelic experience, the very first thing they need to do is find either a psychedelic coach, psychedelic nurse coach, a psychotherapist that specializes in psychedelic medicine, someone, a counselor, someone who has experience with psychedelic medicine. It's way different than someone who doesn't, whether it's a psychiatrist or a coach, a life coach, whatever. They need to have experience with psychedelic medicine and psychedelic integration, because it's like apples and oranges. It's totally different. Integration is key to unlocking the lasting change from a psychedelic experience. Without it, profound insights can fade, leaving you unchanged or even confused. Research suggests that integration is crucial for retaining the benefits from therapy. It's like you get a download of all of the answers to questions that you have, and you just receive a ton of information, and it changes your whole perspective. It changes your insight. And when we come back from that, we're uncomfortable. And the last thing that we want to be is uncomfortable in our life. So what do? We start going back into our same routine, going back into what is comfortable, and losing sight of the things that we learned with our psychedelic experience. Psychedelics reveal that integration heals. These substances can bring up deep-seated trauma or triggers, and integration provides a safe framework to process them, turning raw emotions into actionable goals. So the whole point in a psychedelic experience is to change your life. Something about your life you want to change or heal. Some people call it healing. Some people call it removing layers. I call it removing layers. I don't think that we're broken. I don't think that there's anything that we need to heal perfect just the way we are. But there are layers that can be removed that could make our experience here in this life a lot more pleasurable. Don't lose your trip by skipping the integration. Failing to incorporate insights into your daily life risk losing the transformative potential, potentially leading to disorientation or worsening mental health. What is worse than feeling worse than when you started? So I can't imagine. Well, I've been there. You can imagine coming back from a psychedelic experience. You were sad or depressed or anxious before you went on to this experience. You had this experience. You had this amazing awakening, and then you come back into your life and you have no idea what to do with it. That has got to be worse than the start of all of it. Integration is a journey, not a race. It's a long-term process that starts before your trip with intention setting and continues through practices like journaling, therapy, required patience and commitment. You have to give yourself grace. You have to learn how to love yourself. You have to learn how to be patient with yourself. It's not easy. Integration is the hardest part of a psychedelic experience. Community is your anchor with integration. Joining a support group, sharing circles, validates your experience and reinforces healing through connection. If you can imagine, like, you have gone into this space that's bigger than life, that people around you, your friends and family, have not seen this space. So when you come back into your world with your friends and family and you try to talk to them about your experience, they're not going to understand where you're coming from. They've never seen it. They've never felt it. They can definitely be, an anchor for you, a grounding anchor for you into the life you had, but they're not going to understand how to help you integrate this experience. So it's super important to join support groups with people like yourself. Nature and rituals ground your insights. Practices like mindful walks or meditation, often rooted in indigenous traditions, help you stay connected to your experience and foster a sense of presence. I am a believer that whatever ticket, whatever permission slip you have to give yourself in order to let go, do it, as long as you're not hurting anyone else and you're not hurting yourself. Nature, sometimes you have a reactivation of medicine. It can happen a few weeks after, even up to a few weeks after medicine. And the best thing to do is go out and put your feet on the ground, ground yourself, and look around. Look around and enjoy the experience of all there is to be around you. The sky, the trees, the grass, the birds, and listen. Feel it. Hear it. See it. Integration enhances awareness of your triggers. So if you can imagine having triggers that make you stop in your tracks in everyday life prior to psychedelics, imagine what that is like after psychedelics. You're going to be more aware of what your triggers are. And by mindfully processing your psychedelic experience, you gain clarity on trauma and triggers, empowering you to respond with intention rather than reaction. Understanding your trauma, understanding your triggers gives you a new perspective, and changing your perspective changes your feeling. And when you change your feeling, you change your vibration. It's just amazing how it works. Creative expression brings your trip to life. Painting, writing, music, all of this can help you explore and embody the insights, making integration a dynamic and personal process. Cultural context shapes effective integration. While indigenous practices may naturally weave integration into daily life, Western approaches often need structured support to bridge the gap between the trip and the reality. Western medicine is so far behind, and as a nurse that has worked in Western medicine for the last 31 years, I can tell you 10 years ago, if someone had come into the emergency department and their chief complaint was an overdose of magic mushrooms, I mean, we all just kind of shrugged and, pretty much we judged them. And even me as a psychedelic nurse 10 years ago, I would have judged someone because I didn't know. I've never seen it. I wasn't educated on it. It wasn't part of our practice. It wasn't part of our education. All we knew were from the 70s, people tripped on acid or magic mushrooms and they jumped off bridges. And that's the vision that we had in our head. So Western approach often needs to be structured. It needs a support. It needs education. The real transformation happens after the trip. Integration turns fleeting epiphanies into lasting change, ensuring your psychedelic journey becomes a catalyst for more present, healed life. If you do a psychedelic experience without integration, you're basically just tripping. You're not helping yourself. I feel like you're harming yourself more than anything else. Integration is the utmost important part of any psychedelic journey.